Welcome home, neighbors.
Hello, neighbors.
We're listening from
Arizona,
Florida,
Maryland, New York, New Jersey,
Indianapolis,
California,
Utah,
Michigan,
Iowa,
Massachusetts,
Georgia,
Canada,
our home resort is
Animal Kingdom,
Polynesian,
Bay Lake Tower,
Old Key West,
Riviera,
Boardwalk,
Alani Resort,
Hilton Head,
Boulder Ridge, Copper Creek,
Grand Floridian,
Saratoga Springs,
Beach Club,
and Wilderness Lodge.
and you're listening to
and you're listening
You're listening
to
my
DC Voice.
Well, welcome home, everybody, to the April 25th edition of Community Hall Live. I believe we are at officially episode 41. My name is Chad. I am your host tonight of Community Hall. And if you're just now joining us, we have a weekly Sunday night show called Community Hall Live, where we talk about various topics that influence DVC members. It could be resort comparisons. It could be current issues going on in the DVC community, but we're on top of it all. And every Sunday night, we're bringing it to you live with multiple members. We have a rotating cast of people from the My DVC Points community group, and sometimes our sponsors will join us as well. So that being said and done, I do want to give a shout out and a thank you tonight to our sponsor for tonight's show. That would be the DVC Rental Store, where you can turn extra points into cash at dvcrentalstore.com. I know COVID has changed a lot of people's plans, and if you've got a bunch of points banked up and you'd like to put some extra cash in your pocket, believe it or not, folks, the rental market is starting to heat back up again. So they're getting a lot of demand out there for 11-month bookings. The great news is if you decide to rent out some of your points, they will help you find a member. Well, they will help you find a consumer or maybe even another member, because members do rent a lot of points as well when we run out. But they'll help you find somebody to use your points. You'll make a reservation for them the same way you would if you were doing it for yourself. The only difference is you type in their name and address and not your own. That's kind of the sad part, because, yeah, I'd rather be knowing that I'm going, but if I can't go, the happy part is about 3 days later, you'll get a direct deposit straight into your bank account, or they'll PayPal you or ACH you the money, however you want to have that happen, and you get cash in your pocket like 3 days later. They'll pay you up to 75% right away, and then when the guest checks in, you get the other 25%. It's a super, super, super easy process. I've rented out probably over 1,000 points through these guys as well. I know they'll take great care of you if you contact them. dvcrentalstore.com. Let them know you heard about them here on the My DVC Points platform. So that being said and done, let's come back in and get ready to go to Beach Club, because tonight's topic of discussion is the top 10 things that we love about Beach Club. And let me come back in and welcome in some of our co-hosts and people contributing to the show tonight. So let's welcome Linda in from DVC Resale Market. Linda, how you doing tonight?
I am great. How's everybody doing? Wonderful to be here. Welcome home.
I am. And you're like an original guide from Vero Beach days, right? So
I was. Opened Vero Beach in 1995. Absolutely adore it.
Yeah, so you've probably had to sell it. You were there for the whole opening then of Beach Club, and it's sold out process, and yeah.
It was probably the fastest selling thing of the day. We had no idea. I was in Vero Beach at the time when it sold out, but it was an absolute massive response to buying Beach Club points. And we wish we had more Beach Club. There just is no more room, guys. That's it.
I think all the members are saying the same thing, as we wish we had more Beach Club. So,
yeah.
But tonight we're going to talk about the top 10 reasons why you want to stay there. So let me bring back in and welcome back to the show, Sam Chapman. How you doing tonight, Sam?
Doing great. Hi, Chad. Hi, Linda. How are you guys tonight?
Hi there.
We're doing great, and we're glad to have you come back in and help us on this conversation as well. So let's welcome back in another regular contributor to the show. That would be Miss Roxanne. How you doing tonight, Roxanne?
I'm doing great. Thanks for having me, guys.
Awesome. Thanks for joining us. And then last but not least, we've got Justin Murray fresh off the beach, right? I'm like, those are the cop shades, Justin. Like, I feel like I'm going to get a ticket with you rocking those things, right? You're still muted there, buddy.
Sorry about that. You'd figure 1 year into COVID, we'd figure out how to unmute the Zoom thing by now. But no, fresh off the beach, got to protect the eyes. Don't want to blind yourself. So always protection.
Awesome. 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 And I know everybody here is a huge beach club fan. So let's go ahead and have Linda kick things off with our number 10 reason. Go ahead, Linda.
Crescent Lake, number 10, the Crescent Lake Entertainment Options is fantastic. The lake herself is 25 acres. And what a beautiful morning to get up, come out, walk around the lake, go get a coffee, maybe a croissant, come back. But my favorite part of Crescent Lake, I have to admit, would be at night, the moonlight, when it hits the buildings across the lake and the sparkling boardwalk. And maybe you want to sit on the beach and have movies at night as well by the moonlight. But there's lots of things to do besides that fabulous pool that we know just speaks for itself. You can also rent cabanas, which is one of 3 resorts in Disney World where you're able to rent cabanas. The other ones would be the Bay Lake Tower and Grand, but Beach Club Cabanas also comes with a dedicated staff. So order some great libations there as well too. But I found that every family has a captain in its family. So how nice to blow the whistle, get the captain, go get one of those wonderful watercrafts and cruise across that lake and let mom or dad, whoever wears the hat, get to drive that boat. I love Crescent Lake. I can't say enough about it. There's a lot to do around the lake as you walk. I've seen many people with the bicycling, the jogging, but you'll bump into all sorts of things to do there. You don't have to just do the pool. Crescent Lake offers an awful lot to families as well.
Yeah, you've got the Surrey bikes you can get over at the beach club. Over at the boardwalk side, right?
Yep, you sure do.
And then I think somebody mentioned fireworks cruises as well in some of the show notes.
Yep, it is. It is. It's a great place for that. I just think that anytime you're on vacation, no matter where you are, that when you're around water, that's just a sense of relaxation. Everybody feels calm. And certainly in today's world, we need the calm. So Crescent Lake, one of my favorite places to be right off the beach club.
And also for parents, for adults, we love going over to Jelly Rolls across the lake, which dueling pianos, kind of a bar nightclub type feel. Huge fun entertainment. They'll sing all the old songs you want, new songs you want. Big lot of fun.
It is. If you are going to go around, you've got ESPN there, and you've just got it. You could walk and walk and walk and not get tired of everything you can bump into. Like Sam said, the Jelly Rolls is great if you go across the way. And Atlantic Dance, all of that stuff that I was so used to years ago. There's just so much available there for the family to have fun. You don't have to always be in the park.
I was going to say one thing that I love over there is just like you said, at night, walking around the boardwalk area and that just the Crescent Lake area. It's just beautiful. You can take it in from multiple angles. By the boardwalk, from the beach, by the beach club, or even the bridge by Swan Hotel. Every single angle gives you a great view. And one thing we can't miss is the putt-putt, the Fantasia Gardens that is over nearby. And it's like a short 15-minute walk. So that is one of my kids' favorite putt-putt places. So if your kids love putt-putt, you got to check it out. Nice.
I've never thought of walking there. But I guess you could walk up around the lake and then cut through the backside of one of the resorts, right?
You just cut through. You just walk over like you're going to the Swan Dolphin, and then you cut through their pool area. You're not like cutting through anything. It's a walk. It's a legit walkway with a legit pedestrian walkway on the street. So it's not a weird walkway at all.
Okay, I have to put that on my to-do list.
And we mentioned the boat going out on the lake. Specifically back in the day, you could do the fireworks cruises to Epcot, where they would take your family and roll you right up into one of the gateways arches there of Epcot and view Illuminations, and whenever the successor to Illuminations comes live, I imagine they'll start those up again post-COVID. And we actually ordered dinner for that boat trip. It was actually one of the most memorable things our family's done at Disney. It's one of those private cruises. So in this case, you're not driving the boat yourself. There is a skipper for you, but accessible there from the beach club and a lot of fun to do.
Yeah. I don't know if we still have the Chris Craft there. Do you remember those? They were almost antique looking. They were open seating and it was all wood on the front, and they were most elegant boat that you could take on that lake. I don't know if we still have them, but I hope so, because they were fantastic. It's just the whole thing about being on the lake, being in a boat, no matter what boat it is, at night, sparkles, fireworks, glistening buildings. we could go on and on about that, but it is
Yeah, I
a
was going to say,
beautiful place.
for everybody who loves the boardwalk and the boardwalk view, you don't get a better view of the boardwalk than from sitting at Beach Club. Okay.
Don't. I mean, just go over there and look.
All right. Well, let's move on to our number 9 reason why. And that is exclusivity. When you get to book a Beach Club villa and you don't own there, even if you do own there, the studios are pretty hard to get for owners. But when you get to book that Beach Club villa, you feel like you won the DVC Lotto. It is such an incredibly hard, difficult resort to book. If you wait a nanosecond past the 7-month mark, then you're just waiting for somebody to cancel because it is such a popular resort and it is one of the smaller DVC resorts there. So people buy Beach Club to stay at Beach Club. And when people do that, it just makes it harder to book it at 7 months. So I think the exclusivity is one of my favorite things about knowing that I've been able to book there.
I think you're 100% right. And I have to tell, on hand's experience with Beach Club and selling the DVC resale market, Beach Club, the value of Beach Club, even though the deed length is shorter than the brand new resorts, people don't care. They love the location strength. They love it because of Food and Wine. They love it because of Epcot. And I will tell you, if you want Beach Club points, go after them because they're now at their almost pretty much their all-time high. Mm-hmm. Here we are coming out of a COVID year, going into the new year, and COVID's not gone by any means, darn it. But we are looking at a record high availability to buy Beach Club now. Now's the time. It's home resort priority. There are times, guys, you just got to have it. And it's getting tighter and tighter and tighter. But what a beautiful part of your portfolio for your points.
Yeah.
Yep.
My family got really lucky. The one time we were trying to get in there, the 7-month mark, and we were able to book a 2-bedroom for actually about 10 days. And we know how outside the norm that is. That normally, if you do not own a Beach Club, especially trying to get in at a hard time of year, and this was around Memorial Day. So we were very thankful we got lucky. People shouldn't, bank on being able to get lucky like that. You really need to own a Beach Club if you want to get in there for most times of the year, it seems.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, I think, Linda, right, like you were just saying, the one way I got my husband to buy DVC, because we were longtime renters. We always rented from owners and had rented Beach Club points from the owner. But my husband said, I will buy if we can do Beach Club. And that was like how I got him to get the first contract, because he's in the buy where you want to stay camp. And he will be happy staying there. I would love to stay everywhere. I'm pretty flexible, but he wants to stay at Beach Club every time. It worked.
Bribery works. Beach Club bribery works. Totally good. Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah. The message here is this top 10 list is real, right? It is really real. And there is high demand for Beach Club. It is very exclusive.
Mm-hmm.
I was going to say, I originally bought Beach Club. I bought a 25-point direct when that was the minimum you had to buy. And my sole thought was, hey, this would be good for me and my wife when we want to go to Food and Wine once every 3 years for like 4 days.
Yeah.
And then I quickly realized Beach Club is really, really awesome. So I need more points. So rather than going every 3 years, I'd added another 25. But it took a year for me to get the direct points.
Yeah.
Before they became available. So he finally added another 25. So I don't have a lot of Beach Club, but I have it just so I can get those studios for Food and Wine in October.
Yeah.
We'll get into that later, but there's nothing better. And like Chad said, I'm all about exclusivity. I love Grand Floridian, I love Beach Club, and I love Riviera. So that's where I own.
All right. Number 8 reason to love Beach Club is the New England beach resort vibe. I know we always talk about the Poly has a vibe, and the Poly does, but to me, the Beach Club has its own casual, elegant vibe. And, people will say, when you stay at the Grand Flow, you feel sometimes out of place and it looks too stuffy. I have never felt that at the Beach Club. I feel like when you walk in that lobby, it's casual elegance. It's just nothing but classy, but it's fun. It gives you the vibe of fun, a day at the beach. You can chill out, you can relax. You've got that beachy vibe. If anyone is from the East Coast and grew up in going on vacation to Cape Cod or Martha's Vineyard or Nantucket, then, which is where I'm a Massachusetts native. You feel very comfortable at Beach Club. You're in Florida, but you feel like you've been transported back to New England, back to Cape Cod. It looks exactly, they got the theming perfectly when they designed it. It looks exactly like a New England seaside resort. Martha's Vineyard even has the lounge Martha's Vineyard there. But it really, they nailed the theming, the vibe, the casual elegance, not feeling stuffy. You really can just totally relax, lay back, and just enjoy the resort. You don't even have to go to the parks. You can just enjoy that resort because of that vibe. And I don't know if you guys have felt the vibe when you're there, but it really does feel different than some of the other resorts for the laid back feel.
I think you're absolutely right. And at Disney, every one of the resorts that was built there was built in the past, except for the contemporary, because the past is very, very easy to keep pace with because it doesn't come up behind you and move ahead of you like the future does. So what you're saying there just makes a lot of sense because it keeps it not only the New England decor, but it just keeps it awfully easy to keep pace with. And you just feel a part of it because it is set in the past. And it's a unique feeling when you stay there.
Yeah.
I know, like, I just think back to this show where we did with Grand Flow and Justin was with us as well. And you get that, look, Martha, there's some peasants in, cargo shorts kind of a vibe. Not at Beach Club. Not at Beach Club. I think it's just the word beach just kind of just comes back into it and it says, yes, we're elegant like Martha's Vineyard, but we're also beach. And so we can tone it down a notch and you can feel at home and comfortable here as well. So I really, really, really feel comfortable there no matter what I'm wearing. And let's just face it, that, you're wearing a bathing suit there a lot of times because you're coming and going to the pool. So it just brings that element to it as well. And I even like it better than on the yacht club side because over on the yacht club side, you still feel a little bit more stuffy. There's more business people running around in business sales suits for the convention center and everything else. So I dig the Beach Club side.
I'd have a question for Linda, and that would be, how would we compare the Beach Club feel at Beach Club with something like Vero Beach? How are they similar and how are they distinct?
That's a great question that you would ask. I think, again, it comes down to, it's still a beachy feel to it, but it's more like, I think that the Beach Club itself, more of that New England, where I think that the Vero Beach feel is just a little bit not so identified with the New England. It's more of I think it's an elegant country club feel. Does that make sense? We used to dress there when I worked there, what we called country club casual, because a lot of times people would come in and sit down and they're so casual. They're in their swimsuits. I'd have to get them a towel to sit on the couch because the water would go right through. So I think if I have to really compare it, it's more of a country club casual to a New England, more elegant feel. But have you been to Vero Beach, Sam?
No, I've not. We're looking forward to going there. But we have been to Beach Club and love that, obviously.
Yeah, it was designed by architects in the Northeast, but there's nothing stuffy about it. I mean, you walk in, there's this beautiful laid tile of a turtle that was hand laid tiles. It's absolutely incredible. But yeah, if you go feeling to feeling, it still gives you beach, but it's more of that country club versus the New England. So that would be maybe a better way for me to kind of describe that. I was there for about 6.5 years.
I was gonna say one thing that I think needs to be mentioned is because in the DVC portfolio, the two that are always compared are Boardwalk, Beach Club, right? Mm-hmm. Do I want Boardwalk? Do I want Beach Club? So here we go. They basically have almost the same locations. So let's talk about how they differ in the look and feel. For me, I know Chad loves the creepy clown and that whole setup.
Rip, creepy clown, rip.
They have gotten rid of that, but the lobby over at Boardwalk with those chairs that should be burned immediately. The Beach Club just gives you that sense of calm. Mm-hmm. And just you walk into Beach Club and Boardwalk, it's got more energy. So if you like the energy and you like that, great, that's you. But at least with Beach Club, you walk in there. I have sat in that lobby on my last day for 4 hours. I could have gone to Epcot, but I'm just going to sit here for 3 or 4 hours and just chill because I love just there's a nice peace. There's not a ton of people walking around, but you can do a little bit of people watching. But it's nice and peaceful, and the lobby scent is really nice too.
There's no weird elephants in our lobby either. Okay.
True story. That's awesome.
Had to get a little boardwalk jab in there. Sorry. Justin made me do it. So
The colors are very soft. I mean, to piggyback off Justin, the colors, there's a lot of soft blues and mint greens and cream, and it's very calming. It's not loud and obnoxious or tacky. It's just calming.
No.
Yeah.
Boardwalk's kind of the takeoff mixture of Ocean City versus Coney Island versus busy, go. Whereas, like Justin said, you can sit at Beach Club and feel like you really are getting some relaxation. Where if you want to stay at Boardwalk, you better be looking for an agenda, because it's crazy over there.
Yeah.
And no, I don't like clowns at all. Mm-mm.
Yeah. Brandy makes a comment. I live an hour and a half from the Cape, and yes, it feels like Hyannis and other spots on the Cape. And
Yeah.
Mark was saying the feel is why I don't want to give up my Cape Cod Resort condominium, my other home. Okay, because welcome home from DVC as well. And so yes, some great comments on that one as well. So,
All right. So the number 7 reason why you're going to love staying at Beach Club is the transportation options. So normally when you think about DVC resorts, usually they'll throw in maybe one signature transportation option outside of buses, if you're lucky. So some don't have any signature transportation options. I think Beach Club is unusual that it's actually has 3 signature transportation options from the resort itself. You can take a boat to either Epcot or Hollywood Studios through Crescent Lake to either one of those theme parks. So there's signature transportation option number 1. Number 2, you can walk. Literally, it's the shortest distance from any park, any resort to any park, is the walk from Beach Club to Epcot. And Boardwalk is about a 15-minute walk in the other direction from Beach Club. So there's your second option. And the third option is the Skyliner. That the Skyliner is even closer to Beach Club than Epcot is. And so you have immediate access. If you don't want to walk or boat to Hollywood Studios, you can take the Skyliner over to Hollywood Studios or any one of the other resorts that have Skyliner access. So that's really unprecedented, I think, probably between Beach Club and Boardwalk, to have not 1, not 2, but 3, if you will, signature transportation options.
No, I agree. That's one of the other reasons I love Beach Club. And one of the other awesome things about it is, with it being such a small resort, the parking lot is right next to the DVC building. So if you do drive and you forego all the other unique transportation options, well, you have a unique transportation option, and that your parking lot is right next to your resort. Now, yes, Old Key West, Saratoga Springs, those are going to be right outside your door, but this isn't that much farther, honestly, depending on where you park. And it's really hard to beat as far as the transportation park.
Yeah. For the hotel style resorts here, Beach Club is number 2 for parking. Okay. Obviously the condo styles where you can park right outside your door are a whole nother story. But in terms of parking, I would rank Animal Kingdom Kidani a little better. But other than that, like, you're right there at Beach Club, and it is just such awesome parking coming right out that door, and boom, you're right there in the parking lot, because the building actually spans over the little water area there. So it's literally parking lot door is from the parking lot to the door getting into Beach Club. You can go in that side entrance there. It's 10, 15 feet. So if you're dropping off groceries in the rain, it's really nice and easy and convenient.
And you're also really close to the bus depot, which can't be said for a lot of these resorts.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true as well. That's very true.
Easy access to 2 of the 4 parks. I mean, I think that's why we bought a contract at Beach Club. Our favorite is Epcot and Hollywood Studios, and those are the 2 I can get to very easily from Beach Club. So that was one of the main reasons we bought one contract at Beach Club.
Yeah, I'm not a huge bus lover. Now, since I don't work direct for Disney, I can say that I'm not a huge bus lover. But I can tell you, it is a pretty slow go to the Springs from Beach Club on a bus. So the nice thing is that you can pretty much, as you said, Roxy said, that you can get to about everything you want, and you can take a little walk off your breakfast, walk off your lunch, and walk in the back door, and you have a dozen countries waiting for you to say welcome. So location is absolutely number one in real estate, and you got it right there at the Beach Club.
Mm-hmm.
So, Chad, you've noted before also that Beach Club is the shortest stumbling distance from a drink around the world experience at Epcot.
Yeah. If you're drinking around the world, it's the shortest
Did you
stumble
make
home.
it?
Right? Yeah, I might have been guilty of that at one point in time, but that'll be for a DVC confessions show or something, right?
I know
also,
some DVC managers did it.
It's not to be underestimated. When you've had a long day at Epcot, and we were talking about this a little bit in the pre-show, and you're coming out the back entrance of World Showcase there to the Crescent Lake area, there's that boat right there, the Friendship boat. And you could walk another 10 minutes if you wanted to Boardwalk, or maybe you're in the Swan and Dolphin like I've been before. It's nice to just get on that boat out of Epcot and just float back to your resort. Yeah, you could walk. It's not that far. But why walk when you can float, literally, right?
Yeah, there you go. There you go.
All right. Number 6 reason to love the Beach Club is it's a small boutique resort. So we are seeing this more and more with Riviera is a good example. And obviously Wilderness Lodge is a great example of a smaller boutique style resort. I consider Beach Club a boutique DVC. And I think it's really easy to navigate because it is a boutique. And one thing I can say is when you're in the parks all day and you are with crowds and you're in lines in non-COVID times, obviously things are pretty busy, and you come back to a small boutique DVC, you walk in and you just exhale. You can just breathe because there's no crowds. There's really not a lot of lines. It's a very common atmosphere after being in lines all day. And I like actually that it's a separate building, just like the Grand Flow has its separate building off to the, off to the back there. Small, easy to navigate, like we were talking about from the car. To get to your room from the elevator is not going to be a far walk. I have stayed at the Boardwalk where you're walking down the hall and you're at the farthest from the elevator. It's a 10-minute walk from the lobby. Beach Club, you're always going to have a good room. It's easy to navigate. You can go down to the quick service, get your breakfast in the morning. You can go to the pool and come right back quick. You're in a small, self-contained boutique section of the resort. And I feel like it's just very peaceful back there because it is smaller, so it is exclusive. And I feel like you're just in a relaxation. And you get that boutique high-end feel at Beach Club that you're going to get at Riviera because that's a boutique. You're going to get that at Wilderness Lodge. Grand Flow's got that boutique. And I don't know if you guys have felt that before when you were there, but I feel like that's a huge bonus. And I own at Old Key West. And I love Old Key West, and it's a huge resort, and I know it's really spread out, and I enjoy it, but it's a different feel. I actually have learned that I like the boutique, smaller resorts better as a member.
Yeah, for me, I like you said, the smallness of it is great. And there's nothing worse than at the end of that long park day, and then you're walking down this endless hallway to your room, which I've experienced at Animal Kingdom and I've experienced at Boardwalk. And again, we're going to compare Boardwalk and Beach Club. This is where the two differ the most. Also, besides their decor, is just the sheer size of them all. And the other thing is, if you have kids, strollers, or you're in an ECV, the Beach Club lobby is all on the same floor as the ground, as the elevators are all on the same floor, whereas at Beach Club, at least the lobby's on a different floor. So if you need to go to the lobby, I can't remember how you get there, but you got to do at least some extra, maybe an
elevators and stairs and things along those lines.
So whereas at Beach Club, just boom into the lobby, no problem, boom to your elevator at where your rooms are. So it's great. And again, if you're into the resort mugs, it's not a big deal to refill your resort mug. Go down to the marketplace at Beach Club.
Yeah, that's true.
Boardwalk. When you go to Boardwalk, you either have to go to the pool which then I always feel bad pestering the bartender for a free refill, or hey, you have to go to the Boardwalk Bakery. So Beach Club definitely has a leg up there.
Yeah, that's very true, because from the lobby, you just stroll right through the solarium and then straight across the little courtyard. And a pro tip here as well, if you want to just see how small the Beach Club building is, look for the teal colored buildings while you're out there. The teal buildings are all DVC. The blue buildings are Beach Club Villa or Beach Club Inn. It's the hotel side of it. So, yeah, I love that little small, tight feel there.
It's kind of like an escape margin, because when you're in the park in the back of Epcot and you want to escape, you don't have to wait for anything. You just walk out the back door and you walk home. And there's that #1 pool sitting there and all. And, you know, Walt Disney, the DVC members cannot pool hop to that pool. So, you know, you got some privacy there, which is really, really good. But I always appreciate, like Justin said, is to be able to walk in that lobby and not feel like there's so many people. I do like Boardwalk because I like that flair that's sometimes busy. But I tell my members, if you can, or in the old days you could, request your room next to an elevator, because those hallways are the size of a football field. The walk is a football field length. You're going to get your exercise and maybe not want to, but it is getting back to a boutique nature. Look at what we've done, or Disney's done. I keep saying we because I just left there in January. In the last few years, some of the resorts that we built in the last few years are small boutiques. Look at Grand Floridian. You know, Grand Cal's very much that way. So I think people do like the privacy of that, and they like the intimacy of that as well too.
Very good.
Yeah. And I get to talk about number 5, which are dining options around Crescent Lake. I don't know. Do we have Chad, like 25 minutes to talk about all the food places around there?
I wish, right?
No, I've got to go a little bit faster than that. But, you know, some of my favorites there, boy, for some elegant dining, I don't think anybody, you know, walk a little farther, go over to the Yachtsman Steakhouse for the ribeye. And also for the truffle flies are incredible. The Captain's Table that's over there in that area. It's the same cuts of meat. I've been in both places. It's delicious, but it's a little bit less pricey for that. Then something nice and casual that's very popular is Hurricane Hannah's, where you can go and get some great sandwiches. And then you've got Cape May there at Beach Club, which is a phenomenal seafood buffet in the evening for dinner. If you want a signature dining experience, you want to walk around that horseshoe, go over to the Flying Fish, and the sea bass is absolutely, bar none, amazing. I can't go too far into the beaches and cream because Sam's going to talk about that. But I got to tell you, that is not just a place where you go for ice cream. It is an ice cream restaurant. They have incredible sundaes there if you want that little sweet tooth. But there's so many wonderful restaurants around that horseshoe. You know, if the parks were closed, you'll never want for a great place to eat. And you probably wouldn't be able to stay at all of them. They're fantastic. Love the dining experiences around Crescent Lake.
Yeah, and then all that's true, and then you throw in the fact that you have the Swan and Dolphin there, and inside those two hotels, Shula's Steakhouse is arguably the best steak in all of Disney World. I know there's a good fight about that, but it's and there's a couple of other very nice like Todd's Blue Zoo, and I'm probably getting that wrong, but it's a fish kind of seafood restaurant there in the Dolphin. Fantastic. So both those restaurants I've just mentioned are more on the signature side. Linda already mentioned Flying Fish. Flying Fish is next to California Grill is our family's second favorite date restaurant with me and my wife to go to every time at Disney World. So a great option right there around Crescent Lake from Beach Club.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was going to say, I'm not super into seafood, so Flying Fish is not quite my thing, and neither is Cape May. But everything can't be perfect, I suppose. But the Yachtsman, my wife and I did get to go there. We had some points to burn, not points, but credits to burn. So we got to use the credits for a nice dinner out there, and that was nice. And I know we're going to talk a little bit, but don't forget Epcot Food and Wine. That's in your back door anyway. So if you get bored with all this great options that Linda talked about, you have everything in Epcot to just walk to as well. And don't sleep on the marketplace. I was scared, but I actually got the roasted chicken there last year in October, and it was surprisingly good. So if you're late night and that's all your only option, don't be afraid of it.
Well, it kind of is your only option there, and I notice I wrote this as the food options around Crescent Lake because like Marketplace just don't cut it for me, right? But Mark is saying Cape May is awesome, and if you're a seafood person, that seafood spread is pretty awesome. If you're like me and it's not your cup of tea, it stinks up the whole entire freaking lobby. Okay, so I ain't gonna lie because it's an open kitchen and it just like reeks the whole place. So, but that being said and done, if you're there, breakfast there is pretty decent and respectable as well for a character dining option. You've also got character dining over there at Trattoria Al Forno for breakfast in the morning as well. So we took that one in on my last trip as well. Flying Fish, I think, has arguably one of the best steaks out there. And I think, Sam, we're going to have to, next time we in the world together, I'm going to take you to task over at Shula's on that one, buddy. So I'm going to have you prove it.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And then Linda's saying here that she loves the Flying Fish. Please open. And then Annette's saying she loves eating breakfast at Ale and Compass, which I did have a meal at there last time. They had for dinner, they had a really great, like a seafood souffle bread bowl kind of a thing. Okay. And I was going to order the lobster bisque soup, and the waiter said, don't bother because it's the same base that goes into the bread bowl. So, you'll just be paying for it twice. And it was really, really, really good. So it's kind of like a bread bowl filled with the lobster bisque type material. Really, really, really great stuff there as well. So I don't think you're going to go hungry around Crescent Lake at all. Not to mention, just go all the little tiny snack shops as well out there on the boardwalk. Okay. You got Boardwalk Pizza Window over there. If you're staying at Beach Club, you're going to have to walk to go get some of those things. Okay. But the food choices around that lake are just phenomenal and incredible.
Yep.
They are. There's so many of them. And yet, when we kind of thought together on this, we really think we want to call out one in particular. And in fact, this is our fourth top reason you're going to love to stay at Beach Club, and that is Beaches and Cream. So this has already come up a couple times in this discussion, but Beaches and Cream is a restaurant just off the pool area. So if you're at Stormalong Bay enjoying the pool and in the hot sun, what would be better than just to walk right next to the pool to an ice cream fountain, officially a soda fountain, indulge in, just think, Americana comfort food, burgers, chili, fries, and plus, and then every combination of or a multitude of combinations of ice cream and sundaes, and they even throw in adult versions of these floats. All that to say that Beaches and Cream, for those reasons, is very accessible but very hard to book. You need to get an advance reservation. You need to be on top of it.
Huh?
Yeah, absolutely there, Sam. And it looks like you might have locked up on us or Wi-Fi dropped out or something, but that's okay. So we'll pick it up from here. And, you've got that whole tradition of, and a whole can of whipped cream, right?
Oh my gosh.
So
Did you think?
The kitchen sink. It's incredible. It's in a stainless steel miniature kitchen sink, guys. It's got chocolate. It's got strawberry. It's got coffee. It's got mint chocolate chip. It's got every topping from Oreos to sprinkles. And like you said, Chad, it's got a whole can of whipped cream. And then one of my favorites is the No Way Jose.
No Way Jose.
I'll go on forever. No Way Jose with peanut butter shake. Oh my God, Sunny, that's absolutely incredible.
That's a heck yeah, Jose. Bring it, okay? They misnamed that one, right?
Listen, forget about the Black Angus burger and the chili tots and the cheese tots. No, that's just extra food. You go there, it's an ice cream restaurant, and I will stop now because you'll never shut me out.
Yeah, I think you're right. It's an ice cream that happens to have food.
Yeah.
Those are the appetizers.
Yeah, and people rave. I haven't had the grilled cheese and tomato soup, but I've heard nothing but ravings about that. It's supposedly the best you've ever had with the different cheeses, and also the French dip sandwich is supposed to be amazing, melt in your mouth. And there's also, if you like Guinness beer, you can get a Guinness vanilla milkshake that's supposed to be pretty legit. I don't know, but pretty heavy, I guess.
I was going to say, you stole my thunder. That's what I usually get is the tomato bisque, the grilled cheese with tomato bisque.
That's awesome.
And I don't know if it's off the menu or if I just knew about it, but you can get grilled onions and bacon added to the grilled cheese.
Wow.
And so that makes it extra nice. And it's a really great spot. It's certainly one of the cheaper table service restaurants on property.
Yeah.
Although
And-
they have creeped up the prices recently in the last few years, like everything else. But I will say what we forgot to mention: if you haven't gone to Disney in a while, I don't remember last year, probably 2 years, whatever it's been. They practically doubled the size of this thing, or maybe more.
Mhm.
It was real tiny.
It
Yep.
was super small. You want to talk about a boutique restaurant? This thing was tiny. Now it's gotten quite a bit bigger, but that just allows more people to enjoy it. And if you can't get a reservation, don't kill yourself. Go there. They have a takeout window. You can get walk-up ice cream. Just make sure you're there before closing. I made that mistake. I think I talked about this on one other. I talked my girls into ice cream. We went all the way from Hollywood Studios while we were staying at Riviera. So we made the extra trip all the way to Beach Club just to get there at 9:01 when they closed at 9. So do yourself a favor and don't make that mistake like I did. But at least the marketplace was open and I got some ice cream there, but not nearly as good. So, but yeah, you can get the takeout even if you don't have a reservation.
Dad fail.
And for as much as I know about Disney, it was an ultra fail.
Yeah. Okay.
So speaking of fail, sorry about my internet. I meant to say that Beaches and Cream is awesome. Try it.
Yeah. We got you covered on that one, right?
Yeah.
Fifth time we said it.
And Jim Mason here makes a comment. This is how awesome it is. He goes, I gave up my first and only Rise of the Resistance boarding pass to make our ADR at Beaches and Cream in November. Hashtag love ice cream. Okay.
Is this where I tell them what?
It's a worthy substitute. That was
I was going to say,
I hate to tell you this, Jim, but you could have gone back and showed up late to your Rise of the Resistance.
Good to know.
I showed up 7 hours late once. They don't, at least in October, they didn't care. So I don't know.
Nice.
Good service.
And then Marianne says, Beaches and Cream is our favorite. We can't wait to get ours in 36 days. Note to self, I got to crash that one with Marianne. Okay. So I think we've all shared for our love for Beaches and Cream. And it was so awesome, we did decide to make it its own unique point. But the number 3 reason, and in my opinion, we are now getting into some, well, Beaches and Creams kind of started the really legit reasons to love staying at Beach Club Villas. Number 3 is reasonable point charts. Because, I don't know, like point chart creep, Bay Lake Tower, Poly, Grand Floridian, all of these things have just escalated in points and points and points. It just requires more and more and more points to stay there. And so I'm looking at this going, where does it end? How do we get back to the good old days of Beach Club and Boardwalk where we had reasonable point charts? And so that's why we called that the number 3 reason why you're going to love staying at Beach Club is because it's not going to break the bank on the points.
Oh, it's a great value, Chad. Absolutely. When you look at the fact that you want to go down, let's just call it, I love to call it the Lord and Lady vacation, where mom and dad come out without the kids. They're going down for the Food and Wine Festival. You go stay at a studio during some of that time frame. And during the week, it's like 14, 15, 16 points a night. That's it. Versus the rental rack rate of $597 a night before room tax of 12.5%. You really say, glory, glory, I'm glad a member, but that is a great place to use your points. It's high elevation desire, but the points I think are very reasonable. And I like to sell people on the fact that not only your Beach Club points important for home resort priority and to be where you want to be, but it has a lot of intrinsic value as well.
Yeah. Yep. You don't have to worry about standard and preferred. It's all, one chart, pretty simple. And
Very reasonable.
Yep.
Yeah.
And five in a studio for 14 points. I mean, that's a bargain. Especially with that location. It's September for food and wine. You're right there.
Yeah, that's another really great point. When you're talking about reasonable point charts, 5 people in the studios, 5 people in the 1 bedrooms. Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, I was going to say for me, I love Grand Floridian, I love Riviera, but I like keeping my points too. So if I am trying to make a reservation at 7 months and I do have the option of Riviera or Beach Club, and I'm faced with that this summer, actually, I already have Riviera booked up, but unfortunately it's a preferred view. And I'm like, I think I'd rather get a 1-bedroom standard or 1-bedroom at Beach Club, even for a few extra points, just because it's not that much more than a Riviera studio preferred. Yeah, you can't beat. It's one of those things where you have the points cost you on the excuse me, on the upfront end of buying them. You're gonna pay a pretty penny upfront on resale market to get these points. But as compared to Riviera or Grand Floridian, at least, you're not going to spend as much in your weekly points or your
You don't
daily
need as
points
many.
to get. Yeah, you don't need as many.
Yeah, if you buy 300 points there, they're going to go a lot farther than any place else in the higher end of DVC.
Yeah. So the good news is these rooms probably are the best. Then with Boardwalk, bang for your buck for points as far as luxury location. That's great. The hard news is you're only going to be able to use that if you own here. It's another reason to buy Beach Club, because if you want to take advantage of these low points for great value, you're going to have to own there, because everyone knows this. This top 10 list is real. This is a high demand resort, and this is one of the reasons.
It totally is high demand. You know, the number of times that members try and get into Beach Club that don't own it on a 7-month, we can't even imagine what member services goes through, or you're sitting there on the website trying to book it and it's just not possible. So, you know, when people ask us, you know, where should we buy? Where you know, we want to buy, where should we buy? But we want to, I always say, where do you want to stay? Well, we want to stay in the Epcot area, and we want to be able to go to Food and Wine, and hands down, you either got to go Boardwalk, or if you love that beach feel, you've got to do Beach Club. You've got to make it happen. Even if you, like Justin said, he bought some and did it every 3 years. Then he moved up, bought some more and did every 2 years. Because if you already have points, you're not going to throw the other points away. But to buy some points in bank, and when the full borrowing rule comes back, and someday I feel very comfortable that it will, then that's going to work out really, really well for you. Lower costs out of pocket, because look at what Disney sells it direct for. Can't even go there. It's crazy. So, you know, get your some Beach Club and make it a specific destination for your family.
Yeah, Mark Koppel points out here, the low point season is the only reason why he's never stayed there. It's 7 months. Nothing is ever available.
Nope.
That's because you're tailing into Food and Wine in that September low point season. And so if you always go in low point season, it's Food and Wine. That's the reason why you buy Beach Club. The owners pretty much take out the whole resort.
Yeah.
And they pretty much book it at 11 months.
Yeah.
So that one is, and if you want to see how they book it, go over to dvchelp.com, look at the availability charts. Once you figure out Pete's notation system, it takes a little bit of learning curve, but you'll look at this and go, wow, yeah, it actually goes really rather fast.
All right. So number 2 is, I mean, we've all talked about it already, but it's location, location, location. As Linda mentioned, real estate, those are your 3 things you got to know. Location, location, location. There's nothing different here. Beach Club, if you're going to Epcot, there is not a better location. It is roughly 5 minutes from when you exit that lobby door to the security entrance of Epcot. So if you're going to Epcot, this is the way to go. Boardwalk, maybe 10 minutes, so double the length, but still pretty close. But there's nothing better than Beach Club as far as location to a park. And if you want to do the Rides of Resistance right now, Beach Club's a pretty good option, because you can walk and you don't have to rely on the Skyliner to get you there. I know right now, early morning at Hollywood Studios can be hectic. So this does give you the option. It's about a 20-minute walk roughly from Beach Club to Hollywood Studios. So even right now, if you're going to either Hollywood Studios or Epcot, there is not a better location, in my opinion.
Yep. People are waiting on the bus. People are waiting in line for a Skyliner. You're walking into International Gateway, your own exclusive entrance. You know, you're right there. That backdoor entrance is so cool.
And there's nothing better than just at the end of the, you come home, you come back from the parks in the afternoon, everybody rest, do sob, have a nice pool day, get dressed, go get dinner at Epcot. So as long as you have those park hoppers, it's like that. Where can you do that? The location is just amazing to have that much dining options for dinner at your fingertips.
Yeah,
It's like its own little beach town. Yeah.
Good for naps for kids too. We used to, when our kids were little, we have 3 teenagers now, but we'd always come back and make them take a nap, hour or 2, and then we'd go swimming after. But so convenient. You're right there. You take a nap, and wake them up, and you haven't really lost so much time in transportation.
And Justin, just to double down on your point, what I love about this location is you can control your own destiny about when you arrive at the front entrance, in quotes, of Epcot and Hollywood Studios. And that's so important if you're trying to do a rope drop, get started at the very beginning of the day. And also start considering this. once the Ratatouille ride opens on October 1st, and probably soft opens before then, Beach Club, you will be, 200 feet away from Ratatouille at rope.
You're still gonna have to
drop time.
camp
There's
out
no
at that
other
entrance
way. There's
early,
no other
yeah.
transportation other than your 2 feet that gives you guaranteed when will I be in that line in the morning when I want to be, and not susceptible to when they open the skyline, when they start running the buses, etc. So we're being able to rely on your own 2 feet to get to the park of your choice, Hollywood Studios or Epcot, so valuable these days.
Yeah, that's
Yep.
a great point. When Remy opens up, it's just going to be a mad nut house, because that's the quickest entrance in to get to the France Pavilion as well.
Yep.
It is. It is. Great point.
And does anyone know if the French bakery is still open in the mornings, or I guess at 11? Because it used to be open for breakfast, and I used to like going. I would actually go from Beach Club, walk into Epcot, go and get a baguette, or not a baguette, but a croissant with some ham or whatever for breakfast. It was
Nice.
It was a nice breakfast.
Yeah, back before park reservations were a thing, and you could pop in there real quick. And we will get back to a day when park reservations are not a thing, and you'll be able to just pop in there real quick without a park reservation, pick up your croissant, and pop out.
And of course, I guess
Thanks.
we haven't really talked much about food and wine on all the festivals. So location, if you're going to want to do some festivals, and as Chad mentioned, stumble yourself home and do all that and get home safely without worrying about taking the wrong bus or miss the monorail exchange, I guess. And, maybe you might ride the monorail one too many times trying to get back to the Poly because you didn't realize you're supposed to get off TTC. I'm not saying I know anybody that's done that, but
No one.
but
Never happens. Never
happens. But yeah. So here you just walk out and it's easy, no big deal. And you can, if you just want to pop back in and get a couple things, get some fish and chips, the Canadian soup. I mean, there's nothing better.
Mm-hmm. My DVC guy told me that the 3 Bs are the most in demand. I'm like, the 3 Bs? What? I was new buying a contract. And he said Beach Club, Boardwalk, and Bay Lake. And I said, why is that? And he said, those locations are never going to get old. And I'll always remember the 3 Bs.
Yeah. So, okay then. And the number one reason, if it's not Captain Obvious from my green screen, if you're watching the video here, but the number one reason why we love Beach Club is exclusive access to Stormalong Bay. It is the only DVC resort you can stay at that will get you into Stormalong Bay. And I am a huge fan of that fake sand. It's actually crushed, ground up granite, and then it's tumbled to take the sharp edges off. But it's actually like a sand-like material that's very heavy, so it sinks in the water and it doesn't float, and they can still filter the water and all that kind of great stuff. But you've got the pirate slide. You've got the little tiny pirate pool over there that's just a little tiny kiddie pool at the base of the boat. You've got that great slide. You've got a lazy river. You've got a kids' play beach area as well, where they can just come back in and make sandcastles. And we've already talked about tonight how you can rent a cabana, which they are phenomenally fabulous. We had one there for our mass family gathering over at Beach Club. Got a cabana for a day. I'm just telling you, Stormalong Bay, #1 pool in all of Walt Disney World. You're not going to go wrong there. Guys, what are you thinking on Stormalong Bay?
Oh my gosh, it's like the best. And there was a reason Walt Disney World won't let DVC members stand in his pool up there. Everybody would be at that pool. Did you know it's got the tallest and one of the fastest water slides there at Stormalong Bay? And also what's very thoughtfully done is you've got the 0 entry areas for the little guys, the little tykes that can go with mom and dad right down into that sun bottom, and that little kind of aisle that comes out into that sandbar comes out into the water. Can't beat a lazy river. No, you can't beat that. But I just love the whole ambiance of it. And it is 3 acres in size. So mom and dad often give the older kids a map to tell them where they're going to be seated so that they can wander themselves back and find them at the end of the day. It will be very hard to get your kids out of Stormalong Bay.
My kids just know to find me at Hurricane Hana's.
I love
I think
it.
that's on the map.
And
Yeah, it is.
and I
I was
actually
going to say,
Go ahead.
Go ahead. I was gonna say my kids love playing in the that sandy area, and you can't
Yep.
underestimate how long kids will sit there and play. And they have pails and shovels and stuff they can play with. I don't know who puts them out there. I guess Disney does, but they're always out there. So kids sit there and play sand castles, and then they even bubble up some water through the sand, so they can create their own little moat and river system in the little sand. And my kids will sit there and make friends with random kids. So it's been good for them to just interact with other kids from different parts of the country, even sometimes different parts of the world. You can't do that on many vacations. And so that was really fun to just watch them. And I can just sit there, and there's a hot tub right next to that area. So I can sit in the hot tub while my kids are over there. So I can have my nice chill while they're doing that. And I don't have to feel like I'm hawking over them. My only downside to Stormalong Bay, and I know Chad loves the slide. I'm not huge on this slide, mostly because you have to leave, and then you have to leave the area and then get back in. And so if you do have kids, it's not the best for kids. So it took a while before I let my kids do it by themselves. But other than that, and the one thing I don't know that anybody ever talks about, and I discovered this accidentally after I did an all ride challenge where I walked like 20 miles one day, did all the rides. The next day, all I did was go to Stormalong Bay and just rub my feet in that sand and the water. If you just get your feet and just kind of go like this, it's like having a foot massage, and you can sit there all day, and it's just amazing.
Wow.
The one thing I will comment on Hurricane Hannah's are just as a PSA warning here, just because it's called a Category 5, I don't recommend having 5 of them. Okay.
Oh no, I was going to bring it up explicitly.
That place is awesome.
I didn't know what it was. I had a Category 5, and I normally know what I feel like after I have one drink, and I had a Category 5. I'm like, I think I'm 3 drinks later or something. So
yeah, for those of you that don't live on,
it is my actually second favorite drink in Disney World. Number 1 being a Lapu Lapu. Category 5 is a good Mai Tai-ish drink.
Ugh.
Very strong, very good.
Yeah.
Like they named it well.
Yeah.
So
I love it. I love it. That's
And if you
awesome.
don't live close to Florida or in Florida, you might go, what is a Cat 5? That is the worst hurricane. You can't be anywhere around. So if you can imagine the power of that drink.
Yeah.
And it's at a bar called Hurricane Hannah's. So
Yes.
the Cat 5
Very
is their
appropriate.
signature drink as well.
yeah, Category 5 in real life will knock you on your ass. The drink will do the same.
Yeah.
Stay on the pool.
Blow you away.
No, I mean, it's hit the nail on the head with number 1 here. I think non-park day, full day, this is the resort you want to stay at. I mean, we go in August and it's hot, it's really hot in Florida, but when you're just in that pool, you're happy, and it's a non-park day. Sometimes like on a Wednesday or something, we'll do a midweek and just literally all day at the pool, and it's so nice.
Yeah. Amy brings out a really great point here. Stormalong Bay is so deep. It is over 8 feet deep in the lazy river. And that's because it originally wasn't designed to be a lazy river. It was originally designed to be a live fish area that you could come back in and see, but they kept killing off all the fish from people jumping into the pool from the chlorine in the pools next to it. So it just really didn't work out well, and they just converted it to a lazy river. But that's why it's like 8+ feet deep in some areas. And so, but if you like deep pools, it's also the deepest pool on Disney property as well. So
I was going to say we had one magical moment there last summer when we were staying, and my daughters, we were in the lazy river just floating around, and my daughter was pretty good at swimming now, and the cast member, she held up some jewels, what she called pirate booty, and she's like, "Can I throw this in the pool for your daughter?" Because my daughter wasn't looking. I was like, "Yeah, go for it." And so she threw some jewels in the pool in the lazy river, and was like, "Hey, did you see anything while you were swimming around?" And so my daughter got to feel like she was hunting for pirate treasure. And when she found it, she was just so excited. And she had no idea how it got there. And, you talk about a lot of vacations again. This is the Disney magic that you don't get at another resort. So it was really fun to watch their faces just light up when they thought they found real jewels and jewelry and all that stuff. So it was good.
Yeah, and Amy asked a question here. Does the Skyliner go to Beach Club? I thought it was a Caribbean beach resort. And it does go to Caribbean Beach, but it also comes into the International Gateway at Epcot, which is right between Beach Club and the entrance to Epcot there. So it's like right next door, right between it. So that's why Beach Club and Boardwalk kind of claim themselves as being Skyliner resorts, because there's a Skyliner entrance and exit point right there by their resort. So that's
and
kind
actually
of
the
how
Skyliner is closer to Beach Club than it is to Riviera. And Riviera is listed as a Skyliner resort. So it's right there.
Yeah, it's closer to, Beach Club than it is the Caribbean Beach lobby as well, because that's all the way across a lake kind of a thing. So, yeah, I mean, calling Caribbean Beach a Skyliner resort, yes, still a little bit of a hike because that's a pretty massive resort. Anyways, Linda, how can people follow up with you or get in touch with you if they'd like to after this show?
Oh, absolutely. More than welcome. Would love to help you with DVC Resale Market. My direct line is 352-223-9600. That's my personal cell and my direct business line. Or you can reach me at my email, which is Linda, Linda, at dvcresalemarket.com. Would love to help.
Awesome. And thanks so much for joining us today, Linda. And I want to give a
Loved it.
huge shout out and thank you to DVC Resale Market, DVC Rental Store, and Monera Financial for sponsoring season 5 of the My DVC Points podcast and platform. So that's the end of our show tonight, everybody. Thank you for tuning in. We'll be back next week. Have a great night, everybody.
Good night.
Good night.